If you ask any public official to list his or her top 5 priorities, education will almost always be a part of that list, and rightfully so. We all want our kids to learn. Thomas Jefferson was noted for saying, quote, "An educated citizenry is a vital requisite to our survival as a free people." However, most Americans would agree that our public schools aren't achieving as much as they can be. According to Gallup, only 36% of Americans felt confident in public schools in 2017. If the goal of public education today is to create standardization in learning, how is it that some schools can achieve so much better than other schools? If what we're going for is standardization, why can't that standard be excellence? We know that schools from varying backgrounds can achieve excellence, and if we know that, then we know all schools can achieve excellence. We should begin the discussion by talking about how we have decided to rank and measure our schools. This data set shows us school performance for each public school in Wyoming. Schools are measured in 2 ways: student proficiency, meaning scores on state standardized tests, and student growth, meaning positive changes in those test scores from the beginning of the year to the end. In the state of Wyoming, average proficiency from reading and math falls around 55%, or in other words, 45% not proficient. While 55% proficient is higher than many other states, is it really the best that we can do? Should we measure Wyoming's success based on how we compare to, say, Mississippi? Absolutely not. Wyoming can achieve much better. As you can see, the majority of Wyoming schools find themselves around that 55% mark. A number of schools find themselves ahead of the pack, while a few schools seem to have slipped through the cracks. What's the difference? What's happening with these schools? Top-performing schools can be found all over the state. Snowy Range Academy, a public charter school in Laramie, and Gilchrist Elementary in Cheyenne both post proficiency scores of 87%. Glen Livingston Elementary in Cody post scores of 86%. Podair Academy, a public charter school in Cheyenne, and Kelly Elementary in Jackson both post proficiency scores of 84%. On the same hand, poorly performing schools and struggling schools can also be found all over the state. Johnson Junior High School in Cheyenne posts proficiency scores of 37%. Glendo Junior High posts proficiency scores of 13%. It's clear that regardless of where the school is, either urban or rural, rich or poor, schools are capable of succeeding. At the same time, schools, regardless of their background and location, are capable of failing. What's the disconnect? There are 3 main factors that differentiate school performance. Number 1 is choice. In the case of Podair Academy and Snowy Range Academy, parents have actively chosen to send their children to that school. In every district, there are a couple outlying schools that are the best. Parents choose, or at least try to choose, to get their students into those schools in any chance they can. Number 2, competition. If you ask any Wyoming College of Education graduate, it's really hard to find a job in Wyoming, especially Laramie County, Albany County, and Sheridan County. This graph shows us the same data but broken up by school district. Sheridan County is one of the hardest places to find a teaching job in the state of Wyoming. This competition obviously breeds excellence. Number 3, less regulation. In our public charter schools, teachers are free to teach. Wyoming has an abundance of great teachers. Let's step out of the room, get administration out of the way, and let those good teachers teach. Let's get back to the basics of education by trusting our parents to know what's best for their kids, by trusting our teachers to teach, and by believing that every student and every school can succeed. If a handful of schools from a variety of backgrounds can succeed, then that's enough proof that every school and every child can too. We just have to have the will.